is to look at Archie before and after, and just see what changes have been made in terms of foot position, in terms of reducing the overstride, and in terms of the heel lift. So if we just have a quick recap of before. So what we had before was we had heel striking with the right foot, and then we had that right foot reaching out ahead of the centre of gravity, which is causing that gap between the two knees, which is an overstride, and that causes that the compensation comes from the back. So we get stresses on the lower back here because of that forward lean, and also because it switches off the glutes and the hamstrings from firing, which are the power muscles we wish to look at. So that's what we had on the right, and then we had on the left, as that foot was coming into foot strike, we had more of a midfoot landing, whereby the heel and toe were landing simultaneously, but still overstriding. And we can see the head position, head posture is looking forward and down in that point, and then that foot is coming down and heel toe simultaneously. So we had two different foot strikes. The gap between the knee is still there, so we had an overstride in that left. So trying to go faster, looking to take a longer step, what that's going to cause is braking forces, which will transfer through the knee, through the ankle, knee, hip, and what also that back as well. So you've got more hip dominant and quad dominant before, and then what we get is when we're going through stance phase, where the foot is, the weight is going through that body, we've got the body sinking down into the ground. You can see that knee is over that front toe. So there were the issues we had with overstride before, and then we've got that sinking down into that position. If we just show that again from where we get the head, so we get the hip, here, and we just see where that line sinks down in terms of that collapse. So the hip drop would be, the line would be round about that part of the arm of the treadmill. So that's what we had before. The second thing we had in relation to was the heel lift, so the leg cycle. So when we're looking at the leg cycle, when we get into mid-swing phase, which is this position, we had the heel coming lower than the knee crease. So what that means is the foot is going to be in contact with the ground sooner in the leg cycle than we would want it to be. That is inefficient because that's hard to pick up speed, and the time in contact with the ground is heavily increased. So that was the left. If we have a look on the right, we can see it was higher up, but it was still just below that knee crease position. So as we transfer that to the leg cycle, we'll see the shape that we made before on the leg cycle as that recap comes in, whereby we'll find that we would never really come in higher than this oval shape, and it was quite an elongated position. So we're just hitting the top of that oval. And staying low to the ground, the foot staying low to the ground. So that's where we were before. If we look at where we are now afterwards, in terms of foot strike, we can see there that we're landing on the front part of our foot, the ball of our foot, which is the quickest method because we've got one point in contact. We've also got a very good low heel position, so there's no stress going through the Achilles or transferring up. In terms of the overstride, there is no overstride. If we draw that through, we can see that we're landing nicely underneath our centre of gravity, no gap between the knee. And also, in terms of the running posture, we've got that knee now as a soft knee, and it is just literally over the top of that laces, which means that the body is tall in its position, And now we're not overstride, and it means that there are fewer braking forces in the running stride, so there's going to be less stress on the ankle, knee and hip. Because we've got that running posture improved, we're now activating the glutes and the hamstrings, which are the power muscles, which will send us forward. And also, because we're landing underneath our hips, we're not spending a lot of time on the ground. It's very quick. The turnover is quick because Archie is towing off closer to his centre of gravity. So there's now more flight time when the foot... there's more flight time where both feet are off the ground. So that's a really excellent improvement. If we then take it through to the left foot, again we're making that contact. What we're always aiming to do is to get balance on each side, and again we have got balance on both sides, which is a fantastic result and testament to the hard work Archie's put in during the session and out of the session. So if we have a look at that shin position, sorry, that knee again, we're not sinking into the ground, we're contacting underneath our centre of gravity, and the posture is nice and tall again. So we've managed to get no overstride on both sides. So it's going to be easier now for Archie to pick up speed because there's no brake. He's not going to be collapsing into the ground because as soon as he's touching the ground, he's back into the next stride. So there's going to be fluency and momentum to his running. If we have a look at the angle of the shin as well, the angle of the shin, we aim for it to be perpendicular. We're aiming for it to be 90 degrees to the ground, and that is definitely the case here. So if we look at that position, draw a line down through the shin, we can see that that angle is going to appear, and we've got that 90 degrees, which is perfect, exactly what we're looking for. So if we now look at the heel lift, so we've changed the foot strike so it's consistent on both sides. If we have a look at that mid swing phase now, just bring that back. Okay, so when we're in that mid swing phase, the foot position was always consistent where the heel was to the sky, toes to the ground, and that is fantastic. And we see now where we've got the heel up to the glute, so we're activating the power muscles of the glutes and the hamstring. Now the advantage of this, it means that in the leg cycle, Archie's going to be wielding a short bent lever as opposed to a long one, which is leading to that overstride. So that correction, that change we've made means that foot is going to land underneath the centre of gravity. And if we have a look at the right one, as we come into that mid swing, and again we've got that in that mid swing phase up to the glutes as well. So that is excellent, and again very comparable to both sides. And the fact that it looks the same on both sides is down to that DMS work of those single leg in terms of improving strength and explosiveness. So if we just play through now the difference in the leg cycle, so we actually see where we've gone from a sort of rugby ball shape. So now we're going to be following, and we're literally going to show where we are cycling up, and that heel now will follow the outline of that circle there. So we're cycling up nicely to the bum and the hamstrings. So we're activating those power muscles which are going to propel us forwards. So we can see the difference of the shape in front of us. If we have a look finally at the arms, so before Archie always had a good angle on his arms, but what we had before was we had the palms facing more down to the opposite side, and the fingers were open. If we have a look at play it through to the right, we can just see that the arms were coming across chest height in that position. So the angle is always good, and we see it better from the back. There's more of a shift from the shoulders. Now we've got a purposeful arm drive, and this picture is absolutely perfect because we're seeing that the elbow is driving backwards. We're seeing that we've got the hand, the palm facing the side of the body. So if it faces backwards or to a different position, it switches off the biceps, and we need to use those. And we've got a fantastic angle. Also on the arm that's coming forwards, we've got a great angle of that 60. We've got a great angle coming through to that V that we worked on in terms of scaling back, which tidies up the legs. And in terms of the position, we're looking to work that shoulder height. So the left was a little bit higher than shoulder, but that's fine. That will come with practice and just a little bit of just refinement to bring it back down. But we've got here the right arm is nicely up to shoulder level, which is perfect, and we've got that left arm coming back nicely to the hip. And again, we've got that driver of that elbow back, and the backward movement is what is going to propel Archie forward. And that's a really good position to be in. Finally, in terms of the arms, what the arms does is very much pulls the body upright. That's why we've got ear, shoulder, hip all nicely in line, as I demonstrated earlier. But also we've got the arms consistently working, swinging from the shoulder back to hip to shoulder, nice light fist. And what that does is that improves the head posture as well. So now the head is up, we've got the eyes looking forwards above the treadmill, and we've now got that ear and that shoulder nicely in alignment as well. So that's pulled everything back. So we'll show a little bit more from the back, but in terms of the improvements, absolutely phenomenal. We've hit everything we were working towards. So as a final recap, we've got Footstrike the same on both sides, so we're balls of our feet, so forefoot. We've managed to eliminate the overstride on both feet, both legs. So now Archie's very springy. He's able to maintain momentum and more efficient in terms of how he's looking. We've changed the arm angle to 60 degrees, and we've now got that arm drive working purposely hip to shoulder. Left arm just needs to just scale that down a little bit more, and the head position and body position is significantly improved. So awesome work, Archie, and wish you well for the rest of your running, for your football and rugby.